So again, I'm here with the Tau Panda, and we're going to kick it off here with these first division brackets in the Power Division. And I don't know about you, Tau, but this has been a long-awaited return, at least from me. The last time we saw It's Dangerous to Go Alone 40 feels like forever.
It does. The time always seems like it just drags on in between seasons.
Realistically, these players have had plenty of time to grind, get used to all the new metas and changes that have come in and out, but we have a couple of different teams that we're going to be checking in. As you know, all these players will be named in a fantastic alliteration designed by DJ himself. So the first team we'll be looking at is the Functional Fireplace versus Dapper Domination.
Yes, and looking at the rosters here, I'm pretty excited because we're going to see quite a few free agents that we all know and love. We've got Ghosty, Stoof, you can see the weapon loadouts are pretty diverse, lots of shooters, but we're seeing some sloshers, some blasters, some wipers, so I'm excited to see what Functional Fireplace brings to this first set.
On the other side for Dapper Domination, though, I don't read Japanese, so unfortunately I'm going to have to skip over that first name. But we have MBJK, Gren, and ASAP over there. And again, a much smaller pool. You can see Gren does have only that blaster, so that's kind of a constant that they'll be able to expect across the other way. On the other side, though, like you said, similarly, you know, we're back to a shooter meta, so I'm really interested to see because it looks like they're going to play a very strong mid game here.
Yes, it does. But it looks like Jer for Functional Fireplace does have a charger in their toolkit and the ballpoint splatling, so they might be able to extend the range of their teammates a little bit. And I'm just excited. I'm not sure what the first map and mode is going to be.
We're awaiting that answer now, and that last name was Dane, by the way, for our Japanese friend coming in from across the world. We will have Tower Control on Hagglefish Market here. Big wide map. You mentioned that charger. This is like the perfect spot. I can imagine where you might bring that out.
Yes, exactly. This map mode combination is one of my favorites. I'm so excited that we're gonna see Hagglefish Tower Control as our first game. Me personally, I like to take the side lanes when I'm playing, but we typically see a lot of action right in the center of this map.
It is truly the center of the attention in that market. Yeah, like you said, those side routes are going to be so important to control because all it takes is one flanker to really get in there and just kind of throw off a strong push, regardless of how many ults or how many specials you throw into that, how many different picks you get. It's going to be tough to. And I want to think about this going in because Tower Control, like you said, is a great map mode for this. What do you think like the key is to getting the tower past that kind of stalemate middle part? How do you think these teams are going to have to break this open?
Well, because the checkpoint goes right underneath the ledge from the enemy's spawn point, you definitely want to have probably 2 of your teammates go up to the ramp and start watching out for the ledges over on the right from the tower's perspective and from that canopy on the left. Because if you have a sniper up there, or even a slosher or a blaster just staring down at the tower, then it doesn't matter. You could have a couple picks early, but if you don't get someone up that ramp, then your push isn't really going to go too far.
I think you've nailed it. Really getting that control of the wide space is going to be so important. We're just waiting for our teams to load into the map mode. And if you're just joining us now, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. This is map 1 of round 1 here. We're kicking off the action nice and strong. And, looking ahead here, no zones is an interesting way to kick this off. Everybody's favorite loves zones. So really an interesting test to both of these teams to not have what is arguably the most played mode available to them.
That is true. I was just looking at this. After Tower Control, we'll go to Clan Blitz, and then to Rainmaker if we get to the, one-to-one standoff. I feel like Rainmaker is always A little bit of a loved and hated last mode of a set.
I agree with you completely. It's one of those ones that really requires you to check your. It's really a good teamwork check to me, especially in this kind of a free agent setup like this. You know, it's hard to get these players to kind of come together, and it might just feel almost like you're playing ranked plus in some ways if you just the team doesn't quite gel, if the voices don't really come together to make a solid push. So maybe it might be in their favor to push and close these out before it gets to that 1-1.
Yes, and just a reminder for our viewers, we are in the preliminary rounds here. This is round 1. So both of our teams, they do want to win the set, but every win matters here as far as the game count goes, because this is a point-based system, and so we want to try to get these teams to the top cut.
And not to mention, in the broader picture of all of this, you know, you're looking at down the line, so every individual performance also matters here. You want to make sure you're putting on a good show and you're not just kind of running in and feeding, because, you know, there is another Tournament of Champions down the line to be picked up, and if you want to have a chance of being picked for the kind of supreme of the Supreme Squids, you got to put on a good performance, and you can't afford to have a bad game.
That is true. So between the individual side, trying to keep yourself kind of in check to make sure you gel with your teammates, and then you've got the team-based side, where some of these teams, they might not have had a chance to practice before coming in today. So these first games might be their kind of feeling each other out, warming up, and what I really love about these tourneys is that we get to see teams sometimes start off a little shaky, and it's like slowly they build their momentum, they start to mesh together, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah, realistically, these players, if this is your first Dangerous to Go Alone, these players rarely don't get a chance to play with each other beforehand. They're finding out, you know, who are their teammates the day of, or maybe a little bit before, so you don't necessarily get a chance to have a bunch of scrim blocks or try to put the team together. So it's really, I love it. It's a great test of these kinds of pickup levels, scrims, and the ability to come together quick, because that is a facet that if you're looking to get picked up by a bigger team, if you're looking to move up and get picked up by maybe a Ludi team, you really need to be able to prove that you can kind of pick up and adapt on the fly. And that is something that, you know, hey, we all need to learn to do. I know for myself I need to too.
Yes. I was a free agent for a while. I'm on a team now, but I feel like participating in these tournaments really helped me as an individual player kind of expand my perspective on what it's like to play different roles, to wear different hats if I need to, and I've become, I think, more of a flexible player as well.
It's truly a good thing. Don't at me about where I am in my flexibility, because I will not have any good words to say. I am firmly somewhere in the lower ranks if I had to take that guess. So yeah, this level of play is always going to be so interesting. So I mean, hey, this is also a good spot. Like I said, if you're looking to find a good pickup, keep an eye out here, because we're not going to stay with these teams long. We're still waiting for them to load in and get these first games ready, but you'll have a chance to see these guys fresh off the benches. So getting that look at them may be a chance as you come into later events, because I mean, there are plenty of other events that maybe you take a player into some of the other wonderful events around the scene.
Yes, exactly. And it's another thing that's interesting is, like, sometimes you'll see players or even teams kind of develop a little bit of a rivalry as we get started. So
let's check out what they got. Coming in with the ballpoint, you will see that in there. On the opposite side, there is that range blaster to be expected. I mean, what do you think? Do you think they're going to regret not bringing in the sniper here on this?
No, I don't think they'll regret it, because they might not have the charger, but they do have an inkjet, and it looks like they have a junior.
Wow.
They're definitely going to have support of their teammates here.
The early cooler that gets forced back, though, as the rest of the specials do come in. They'll get forced right back, and it will start moving. The tower's going. That is going to be a deep deep push, though. They're already getting checkpoint 1 for free. That aggression from the side of Functional Fireplace really bought them so much space to get past checkpoint 1.
Yes, it really did, and they were doing exactly what I want to see, which is getting up on the ramp, pushing the enemy back, trying to keep them on their toes, kind of on the back foot, if you will.
They did manage to get control of that higher platform there as they'll hit checkpoint 2. It'll clear here. And there's finally, though, Fireplace had lost 2. They're still holding on to it. Yet another Zipcaster unfortunately falls there. 2 down for Functional Fireplace means the tower will flip back for Dapper Domination. And they have a long way to go here, Tao.
They do. But Functional Fireplace did lose 3 at the end of that push, so they're going to lose a lot of that mid space that we were talking about that always has a lot of contention. Another cooler coming out for Dapper Domination, and 2 other specials are online, so this might be their chance.
We'll have those 2 and send them in grouped up, finally taking control of that flank angle a little bit, narrowly avoids the bomb, and has to give up the space there, so they'll have to continue pushing at mid as the tower's still there. Finally finds one, Crab is out too, but hasn't really done much except zone out the enemy. They'll finally get the cart moving here, and 3 minutes on the clock means they still have quite a long road ahead.
And the Zipcaster, I believe, just got used, and that's going to cause a lot of chaos. They see they got a trade there. But they're still on the tower. They're pushing past this first checkpoint, it looks like.
Shot. I love that. I love Dapper Domination's ability to stay grouped up. They're playing as a full unit, really covering down, making it impossible to get in. And the duel, finally, the Blaster gets punished on the way out. The tower, under contest, finally gets taken out. Swiper's down, and the Crab sent out too means that Dapper will hold one more time.
And cooler out for Dapper Domination, but no! The Sloshing Machine Inkjet combo takes down players here, and their Functional Fireplace is really making a good push back to mid, but they just lost 3 players on that counter-offensive.
Yeah, there goes the 4th one as well, so it'll be a late jump back in. Now Dapper has the chance to get back into this. They'll pop yet another cooler, and the whole team is there to take advantage of it. Functional Fireplace is going to have to poke from the high ground. They will drop the bubble, give them a little bit of space, and now they have control of that high ground, looking for a pick. No, does not manage to hold it. Dapper goes down there. They'll get a checkpoint 2, but they have to keep pushing to it. 37-25 with 1:45 on the clock. They'll lose the tower, which means the Functional Fireplace still holds their lead for now.
Yes, they do. In just that one push, it took a couple tries. Dapper Domination got really close by getting to that second checkpoint. I think they're just kind of letting Functional Fireplace know, hey, this isn't your game yet. We still have a little under a minute and a half. We could still take this back.
Trizuka comes out there. Doesn't really quite catch. A couple bombs go back. Ghosty looking for a pick. Unfortunately, is not the one to find it, but there is chaos out there. 2 down on both sides, and the cart will move back for Domination, but I don't think it's getting past middle. Ghosty, the lone survivor, has to try to hold this off while the reinforcements comes in. Sending out those bombs, can't goes in. Zipcaster's in, gonna try to push it. Bubble gets out, almost. He eats, unfortunately, the water and has to back out. Dapper will continue to push.
Yeah, Dapper does have a chance to take the lead here. They got another cooler out. They're using an Izuka. They found maybe 2 picks here. They do not, just the one. A second member of Functional Fireplace goes down. I think this might be Dapper's chance to take the lead.
30 seconds on the clock, and the last push coming in. That's 3 down for Functional Fireplace. They stand the chance to continue the push here. Dapper Domination gets the wipeout, which means they will clear past that number, and they've got the lead in their hands. They're going to get those reinforcements right away, but they're at checkpoint 3. 15 on the clock and a cooler on the cart. Going to try to close it out here. 10 and counting, pushing past, looking for more, but 3 down for Dapper means that the cart will fall back, but they still have quite a bit of a safety net for them.
Yes, they created a jumbo-sized safety net for themselves. But Functional Fireplace has 3 specials now online, and Dapper Domination just lost one of their blasters.
That's a huge pick for them. Overtime continues now. Can't afford to step off by any means as they poke around the side looking for something there. No! Unfortunately forced off, and that first round will go to Dapper Domination.
That was amazing. Dapper Domination really hung in there, and they came together. I think you were talking about it towards the beginning of the match, how Dapper Domination was doing a great job at working as a unit. They got a little broken up at times, but I think that's kind of what helped them push past the way they did.
I think you are 100% right on there, so they'll have to carry that in towards round 2. It's match point for Dapper Domination, and considering it was a little bit of a rough start for them, you know, they got pushed back right away, and I think it's interesting. They responded in kind. Under that pressure, they really kind of hunkered down and got it together, and that kind of a clutch factor really does make a difference here in these kinds of free agent events.
Yes, it does. And seeing as our next map mode is Manta Clam Blitz, which Clam Blitz, the amount of coordination and teamwork required from Clam Blitz is really going to push both of these teams. As the second game in the first round of this tournament, it's pretty exciting. Hopefully no one's nerves are shot just yet coming into the second round.
Hopefully
second
not.
game, rather.
Yeah, hopefully not. Clam Blitz, honestly, is one of those ones, especially on Manta, where you really have, you know, a couple ways you can get to the basket, but it's still, like you said, going to require a bit of that teamwork. So what do you think is going to change going into this? Because we obviously know the blaster from the side of Functional Fireplace is going to stay there. Is there, you know, they're one-tricking that. So what do you think is going to happen? What changes would you make, do you think, in the lineup of weapons here?
Maybe I would swap out the Zipcaster on the Stamper for something else, maybe a hammer if Ghosty plays Wiper. But other than that, I feel like it's really just a matter of teamwork for Functional Fireplace.
Looks like they will agree with you. Tri-Slosher is there. Everybody's back in. Looks like no changes. I'm sorry, there will be Double Junior there. Okay, so you're looking for a little bit more Zuka action, it looks like.
Yes. That's a interesting choice, but I guess I could kind of see it. The back-to-back, if they have them in tandem, the Zukas could be devastating here. But two members of Dapper Determination go down in the first 30 seconds of the match. That's gonna cost them a lot of space. And here we see that there's two members of Functional Fireplace already in the street.
Taking control of that, the triple ink strike will come in to try to clear the rest of the spot, but that Zipcaster just continues to take havoc, and they unfortunately get stopped there. That's the wipeout, and Dapper Domination has a chance to push back. They'll have 4 in the clams, but more importantly, they'll have the space to work with it.
Yes, and finally they're getting some ink on the ground. One of their Inkzukas is online, and someone's trying to make a push of their own by the basket.
Wow.
But the Zuka coming in for support over the walls, it wasn't enough. 3 members of Dapper Domination go down, but maybe that was a little sneak peek at what Dapper Domination is going to bring to this game.
I think you may be right on that. They'll get their ink back, and we'll get squared back up in the middle here. 1 clam up for the side of Dapper Domination as they continue to collect clams in. The specials come back online, and it looks like we're ready to make this push. Bombs continue to get thrown, but there's not much going on. Trizuka comes out, doesn't quite miss Ghosty correctly, just fades away and just plays back to it, just decides it's not worth it, looking for make that stop. They see the clam is moving, but they're going to try to play sneakily to get it. Catches them on the high ground. Anything? No, unfortunately punished for it. Triple ink strike comes in as well. And it looks like there's not going to be enough of a push here for the side of Dapper Domination. They're going to have to slow it up a little.
A little bit, but they did have the cooler, so they were able to respawn and jump back to their teammates.
Oh,
now a bubble.
Picks.
3 picks.
3 for the blaster. They'll get the break, pushing it all the way down to 57. That slow play from Dapper Domination looking clutch here in this moment. They still have control. Half the clock is down, 2:45 on the timer itself. Triple Zuka comes in. No, Ghosty goes down there, which means that this timer will close and it'll end with 51 in the basket.
For a basket break, that is a great place to be in.
2:30 on the clock, looking in, still in control. Dapper Domination, 16 clams for them. You wouldn't even believe that they actually just scored. You would think that they are still in control of this, and they're firmly in control with that many clams here, pushing it from the high ground, just trying to get something out. No, Ghosty falls again, and that is an opening for Dapper Domination.
is, and we see they've gotten juice again, but they have lost 2 players. It's two players up for both teams, but this
Oh,
blaster is
blaster.
not stopping. Finding those amazing picks at just the right time.
Just absolutely doing their best Prochara impersonation out here with this blaster. Triple Zuka coming in, trying to buy the space alongside that blaster. Does get punished in from the high ground, and eventually they'll trade. Dapper looking, but no, they have the push, but they don't have the clams to back it up. 2 fall finally, and it looks like Functional Fireplace will hold here, 3 down. Thankfully, there's nothing for them to really be capitalized on.
There isn't, and another juice gets popped here. The Tacticoolers do not stop from Dapper Domination, and the basket is open again.
There it is.
The blaster is on the ledges, getting clams in. They've already gotten past their penalty points.
Down to 40 it goes as all 4 members of Functional Fireplace are up. 1 power clam, now 2 up as the barrier closes. A minute on the clock means that this is going to be likely the last push, and it has to be a huge one. They are down 60 points, and they need to get at least 3 clams in to steal this away from that. But Dapper Domination's pushing back hard.
They don't have clams to... They don't have a power clam right now. They do have enough clams to make a power clam. But I don't know if they're going to go for a full push or if they're just trying to keep the pressure up. Either way, time is being eaten away for Functional Fireplace to make their move.
30 seconds on the clock. Dapper Domination keeping the Functional Fireplace low burning, and there's suddenly the picks coming in. Functional Fireplace losing 1. Trades come back 2 on each side. Almost 15 seconds on the clock. Functional Fireplace needs to make a push. They have 2 clams up, looking from this high ground, trying to find something. Inkjet is there, but they're not going to commit it right away. 10 up, so they will trigger the overtime. This is going to be the last push they have here. 13 clams to 11, and they cannot afford to drop it here.
They can't. 2 go down for Functional Fireplace. It was great timing from this blaster.
The bubble is there. They will be able to buy the space for it, and it looks like they will be able to get in. Is there any follow-up, though? He's looking. He's like, where's team? Where are we at? What's going on here? I bought us the way, and unfortunately for Dapper Domination, Functional Fireplace burns out. So Dapper Domination will take a game 1.
Dapper Domination is taking game 2 for 2 PBO here so far. But Functional Fireplace could still take this last game, and remember, these games matter.
Every game matters here, but you know it's quite a statement to come out from Dapper Domination. You know, Domination is in the name, and they sure are doing that. And I got to give it there. That push back. Really just keeping Functional Fireplace in check and spawn. You know, they had 2 clams up. It was the right call, I think, to continue to pressure and just deny them this space, just to say, look, I understand you're behind. I see you have 2 clams. We are not going to let you take this. It's going to be 2 fights if you even want to get to our basket.
Yes, exactly. And I think maybe they took into account the weapon choices from Functional Fireplace as well. They kind of all need a little bit of ink space. They need help from each other to move around, and Dapper Domination, compared to the first game, did an excellent job just shutting them down, closing the space between them so they couldn't capitalize on the range that they had.
Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to capitalize on it, but they'll have 1 more shot here on Rainmaker to make this work. So you know, if you are Functional Fireplace, what do you think you can do here? You want to try to leave with at least 1 point. So, Tao, what do you think we can do here for Functional Fireplace to get ourselves back on the board?
Well, Crableg Rainmaker is a little bit of an odd setup, in my opinion. Not one of my favorite map modes, contrary to popular belief. I know that might surprise the audience. I do have least favorites. I mean, keeping a slosher would be nice. Maybe getting juice, some sort of special to help get into the enemy's up ramp would be nice to see from Functional Fireplace. Right now, they kind of don't have that zest to really push Dapper Domination back if they're on the back foot.
I think zest is the right word for it, because there's the zesty, delicious taste of the cooler that has just been so frequent on the side of Dapper that I think it arguably is kind of the main crux to their plan, right? They're willing to take these aggressive pushes because they know that, you know, I just threw back my energy drink. I'm ready to go on this as we're loading in for our last map of this first round. Looks like there's not going to be too many changes coming in, so we will see over in purple a couple. We'll see a different variation on the junior, but it looks like they're going to go for the triple ink strike over another Zuka.
All right, and is that the heavy edit we're seeing coming out here for Functional Fireplace? I love this new Splatling. I think it's very dynamic, and honestly, it's probably a great choice for Functional Fireplace.
3 down immediately for Fireplace. That's a great pick, but unfortunately, they are going to have to try to recover this. They didn't manage to stop the Rainmaker, and it's a little bit closer to them. So they'll have this chance. They'll have to send in the triple ink strike to get themselves a little bit more space here. Try to buy a way in and create a pick. Rainmaker sits 77 for the side of Domination, and they'll finally get control of it to push it forward here with 4:15 on the clock.
Yeah, we see specials being used. Ghosty is up on the plat, not giving Dapper Domination another chance to do what they did the last game. We might see a checkpoint get taken here.
Looking for it, just trying to find some space, looking for shots on this Rainmaker. They have Cooler, they know they have that little extra one up there saving for them. They gotta start moving it forward. The Trizuka comes through, finds one through the fire and the flames, looking for more, just keep trying to find it. That finally will get taken down though, and I mean, that's a great stop from Dapper Domination.
Yeah, it was great. They really zoned out the Rainmaker just by throwing bombs non-stop, auto bombs. I think I saw splat bombs.
Triple ink strike. Rainmaker is back in the hands for the side of Functional Fireplace. They are on the high ground looking for something. Those greats unable to really support them as the bombs come through. They see the checkpoints right there. They have the lead. There's 0.1 down with 3:10 on the clock. Looking for more. They have this great high ground as the triple strikes come in. It will punish too, and that means their run stops here.
Yeah, but I believe the Zap might have stayed alive or respawned quickly, and we know that another Tacticooler is coming soon.
Oh boy, here we go. Spider-Man again, looking deep, trying to find anybody, trying to find an angle, has to give themselves back out and trying to just confuse them. Does manage to find one across the side, does get punished for it though, so Functional Fireplace down 2, now back up to 3, and the Rainmaker will stay where it is for now.
But they are so to taking this checkpoint. They might just take it.
There it is.
And they do.
Getting it through. Still a point behind, though, as they were the second. So they'll get control of this. Trizuka up, looking for shots. Just firing long. Does catch one. Looking for more. Can't find it. Does manage to get a little bit extra bombs out there. So the Rainmaker will fall to Functional Fireplace. It's going to stay in the reset. They'll just choose to reset it to mid.
The Rainmaker is reset, but they're trying to keep a little bit of pressure here. Already the the edit goes down for Functional Fireplace. Dapper trying to keep the pressure up as we've seen them do already.
Ooh, yeah, those triple ink strikes really just keeping the pressure up here. Just can't quite get away from the low ground. Unfortunately, will get forced out. 2 down for Functional Fireplace means Dapper is firmly in control of this. 1:45 on the clock. They have the lead here. They just want to try to extend it now as they try to push on this high ground.
Yes, pushing over these grates is always super difficult, but Dapper Domination is doing a great job of working together. And that is the game.
A very swift 3-0 from Dapper Domination, living up to their given name. And that's quite a statement to make coming into these prelim rounds.
It really is. As we were saying before, some of these teams, we don't know if they've had a chance to practice together or not. And I feel like progressively across these 3 games, we saw Dapper Domination come together. It seems like there's a little bit of a level of trust they're starting to develop already in round 1.
Quite a showing from both teams, realistically. Again, no one's out here. That's just round 1. We're just looking for, seeing how these teams do. There will be plenty of more play ahead. Giving one last look at our players. I mean, the 2 players that really stood out to me, didn't quite make as big of a splash from Functional Fireplace, but Ghosty really put in quite a clinic over there with those wipers, and I think for all things considered, you know, that is a strong player that like definitely shows leading capabilities for the side of Functional Fireplace.
I agree completely with that. And then on the side of Dapper Domination, I believe you said it was Den?
Den. We had the name. Excuse me 1 minute. I have to go through all of my notes somewhere. They let them know it's Sabi.
Sabi. I think they did a great job, kind of like the non-assuming, playing the shot, playing the T-Tech, but really a lot of the specials were well-timed and well-coordinated with their teammates.
It was a great look from both of these teams, and Dapper Domination just living up to that name. We're going to give these teams a break. We're going to get our next round ready, so hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute with your second round of It's Dangerous to Go Alone 41.